All right, guys, back again. I'm going to be talking about Youngblood number 10 today. Now, I'm not even going to lie to you. There was a time in the past that I had all of the Rob Liefeld Youngblood issues that came out. But again, I did have a fire that destroyed a lot of the stuff that I had, and I never went back and replaced all of it. I've replaced the stuff that I wanted. And to be perfectly honest with you, I did not see a reason to replace any of the Youngblood stuff. Now, having said that, there's some stuff I bought where I bought some long boxes or short boxes or whatever, and they have a jumble of books in there that, I don't really know about. So I end up with a couple of issues of stuff. So I want to go through this one, and this is infamous. We know what this is. We know, and I want to give everyone a trigger warning. I know I'm going to have a disclaimer in the beginning of this video anyway, that there is a depiction of suicide in here, okay? It's a serious subject, so, I want people to know that. I don't know if I'm going to actually show that picture. I don't know if I see the point in it. I don't know if I see the point in any of this book. There's a few things I guess I want to talk about. I just did a quick read through of it. And it just, I don't know. I remembered reading this back in the day and saying to myself, like, oh, Chapel trying to do this with Spawn and everything sounds like a good idea. But I just don't understand how it even led up to that. So, okay, so let's just jump in and we'll get to it when we get to it, right? This is, of course, at a time where Rob Liefeld wanted to be Stephen Platt. So he started adopting all of his style into everything. As you can see here with the double lighting and such, yeah, so there you go, right? All right, so here, now apparently what happened in the previous issue is that Chapel found the alley that Spawn hangs out in and started killing homeless people because he's a hero for Youngblood, I guess. I don't know. So, did you ever even really see Chapel much in any of the Youngblood comics? I mean, I remember seeing him a couple of times. You don't really get much of a character thing out of it. Like, he slept with a woman in the first issue. I think he killed a ninja once. And then that was the end, right? Like, did we ever see him again in anything? Doing anything? You're not going to get characterization with any of this stuff, right? You're going to get a look, and that's all you're going to get from Liefeld. And Liefeld thinks somehow that the way he designed that character, you know everything about him naturally, right? Like just by looking at him, you get everything that he's supposed to be. I don't, agree with that. It never works because, again, we know nothing of any of these people ever, right? But anyway, he found out that this creature Spawn, I'm thinking, he found out somehow, is actually Al Simmons, okay? And of course, he's the one that killed Al Simmons, in effect creating Spawn, right? So now he's curious as to how Al Simmons was able to come back and have this power, right? So, right here, now, again, I don't have the previous issue. I'm sure I could look online or YouTube or something, and everyone who does the same thing that I'm doing, or that I'm doing the same thing that they're doing, they've done the issue, and I can look back and see, how this came to be. But I'm also pretty sure that, like, it was almost nothing. Like, there was no real story or anything there. Now, he's saying, you're going to tell me how you achieved this, or I'm going to kill more of these homeless people, as you can see back here. But he's also saying that he's saying that Al doesn't have power to stop him. Spawn obviously has the power. He can snap his fingers and Chapel will be gone immediately, okay? There's no threat here. These weapons aren't going to do anything to Al. It's the homeless people. Now, did those homeless people, are they still standing there after a bunch of them were murdered? Did they go running somewhere? I don't know. He's not doing anything to stop them from running. We don't see any more that's alive here, okay? So, I don't know, that seems weird to me or whatever, but Spawn's like, you don't know what you're asking for, Chapel. You know, it's a hell, and Chapel's like, I do know, and I want this, you know, and you're going to tell me, and that's the end of it, right? Now, we go through the whole Spawn origin story, okay? It's the Spawn origin story. Now, I feel like he put some information in there that Chapel doesn't really need. Chapel kills him. He dies. He goes to hell, makes a deal with Malbolgia to come back. And instead, Malbolgia screws over Al Simmons and makes him a soldier in Hell's army, basically, is what he's doing, right? He sends back, you know, this burned up corpse or whatever so that nobody will ever be able to recognize him. Sends him back 5 years after he died, where his wife is remarried and all this, you know. Malbolgia did not give Al Simmons anything that Al actually wanted, okay? So that's where, I don't know, the contradictions start to come in here, because it's like, how does Chapel think, I'll kill myself in order to go to hell and get all your powers and rule the world? And it does not make sense to me. Why would Malbolgia give him that? He didn't do that for Spawn. He tricked him. This is a punishment. Yeah, he has these powers, but he doesn't. It's not unlimited. Anyway, so I'll tell you something that's kind of weird here. Is I think this page was supposed to be a turned on its side double page spread, because if you look down here at these images, I'm gonna bring it up to see. Look at the detail that's on this, right? It kind of looks like these images were shrunk. And with that being the case, I'm pretty sure that, again, it was supposed to be turned on its side and be a double page spread. But they didn't do it, I guess, maybe to save page count, okay? But on the same page, we end up cutting to these guys that are fighting from the previous issue. And I'm not even going to kid you. I have no idea who the fuck Nighthawk is. I don't know. I don't know who these guys are that look like the one dude from Bloodstrike, right? Just a different color scheme, but they look like the one dude. This the Wolverine knockoff in Bloodstrike that's like red and white, right? Yeah, so anyway, here we have Sabretooth, who is known here as Warwolf, and cue the MST3K joke.
Here's the wind-up and the pitch.
Werewolf?
No, werewolf. Where? Say it.
So, I had to do it. I'm pretty sure it's been done on, like, Linkar's video before or whatever, but I had to do it, okay? So here's Warwolf, who is fighting Nightsaber. I'm gonna say this again. I think that this page was supposed to be another turned on its side double page spread, but they ended up stopping that because, I'm sorry, but a lot of the details here just seem like, look at all the detail here on Nightsaber's face, right? That looks like an image that's been shrunk down further than it normally would. That's not usually the way that Liefeld tends to do things, so it just seems weird, right? I almost get the impression that it's here too, like such tiny detail here and everything. I think the whole book was supposed to be double page spreads turned on its side, and they ended up setting it up straight or whatever. Here we have Task and Silence, and Silence is apparently a telepath, like that one dude from Youngblood issue 1 that we saw like in 2 issues of Youngblood, and they never appeared again. And he's the one who killed Hassan Hussein. I don't know whatever happened to him, but basically she's the same thing, only a woman, but has the same outfit as Masada, whatever. Okay. So they're just, fighting whoever. Now, I will say this. When I read this again, they're talking about the abilities that Task has. and his fuel is he's like an adrenaline junkie, I guess, and that combat is, is his way of getting what he needs or something. It's very weird because he's talking here about fighting virtual reality stuff or holograms or whatever, and it says the thrill of real battle is like a shot of pure adrenaline to his system. Yeah, that's what adrenaline is. So it's not like that. It literally is that. I don't know. That read so weird to me. But again, it's, I'm pretty sure this is just. So the story is Liefeld, but the script is Eric Stevenson again. And if Eric Stevenson writes this way, then there's no reason that he should ever be an editor for anything. We've already gone through that. But yeah. Also, again, Liefeld cannot have somebody holding a sword with two hands. He's incapable of it, but he will continuously do it. But whatever, okay? Here we have Bad Rock fighting Black Rock. And I know that Black Rock drank the same serum that Bedrock did, and that I don't know exactly why he's a rival of Bedrock. Were they both kids? Did they both go to school together? I have no fucking idea. I'm not even going to kid you. I don't think I care. Task comes down and cuts Black Rock's head off, and Black Rock catches his own head and puts it back on, and he's like, that does nothing. People have tried that before, and it's failed every time. So now that leads me to believe that you could do the same thing to Bedrock, and that Bedrock will be absolutely fine. I'm guessing now that Bedrock is immortal, and he cannot be killed. I don't know if that was something that was examined by anyone else or, later on down the road in this book or anything, but that's the impression that I'm getting, that I never heard anybody else, talk about. So here we have Silence, zap Black Rock with some telepathy and shut his brain off, I guess, and have him fall. This is just so hilarious to me. I've heard people talk about how when Liefeld draws somebody who's knocked out or dead, it's just a giant open mouth. Where did that come from? Where did Liefeld see that and think that, oh, this is what dead people look like? I'm not sure. I've never personally seen it anywhere other than Liefeld doing it. So I don't know. I just find that one to be funny. And another double page spread on the side. That's what I'm saying. A lot of the pages in this did that, and then I'm also sure that a lot of the pages in here, like, I don't feel like this should have been a double page spread, but the other page I showed you in the beginning or whatever, right? This should have been a double page spread more than this. There's nothing here that's any good. I don't get why this had to be. We're going to cut back to Chapel and Spawn, and Chapel is going to go on this long rant here about something. Now, can I just say here, I'm going to read this one where it's, we all know what happened. We read this in Youngblood Strike File. But he's like, when my good friend Jason Wynn started screwing with me, when he told me the agency had been infecting me with a specialized strain of the HIV virus over the length of my career, it was like the other shoe finally dropped. How many injections did he need to get HIV? How many times over his career did they have to inject him with HIV? I'm pretty sure that just the one time would have been fine. So that seems weird. Again, this whole little rant here just kind of, it's so fucking stupid. Like, seriously, God, he could have just said, when I found out that I was injected with this and that, I'm also pretty sure that, like, the version he has to be activated somehow by the government. Like, it's not a thing that's just currently working. It's obviously doesn't look like it is, right? And it's just, yeah, so it's not the next page here. But like I said, I'm going to skip the other double page spread of, him shooting himself. What is up with this curved gun? Is that straight, or was it the curve of the book? Whatever. So here's here, and again, he's just talking about, like, why does he think that when he does this, he's going to, like, Spawn did it incorrectly. That's That's like what I'm getting out of this. It's like Chapel looks at it, or you could say Rob Liefeld's looking at the way Tom McFarlane did this, right? And saying, this is his commentary on it or something. It's like, Al, you did this wrong. Like, you died and make this deal with bullshit, and you got this power, and you're squandering it. You're not doing it right. If I did this is how I would do it. As if there was some other choice. Remember, there's a third factor here. There's another person, another being that is the one that will grant these powers. And who's to say that he would do that? What is his reasoning behind doing it? You know what I mean? Like, he screwed Al over. Why wouldn't he screw Chapel over? It just does. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. But again, we know what this next double page spread is. I'm just going to go past it, right? There's no reason. It's not like the artwork is good. It says it's after Stephen Platt. So did Stephen Platt draw that first and then Liefeld did it? I don't recall ever seeing the image that Stephen Platt drew of that. I don't know. Why is Spawn saying no? Why is he affected in this manner? Chapel killed him. Did this to him. Okay? He's not looking at Chapel anymore like that. If we read the pages of Spawn, he's the one that ripped the skin off of Chapel's face and gave him that skull face now permanently. So that was like a revenge for him or whatever. They're not friends. He shouldn't care. So why is he even the least bit afraid? At any moment in any mission, Chapel could die. Okay? At any moment, he could be shot in the head by some other soldier or whatever. He could die. But because he did this now, in this manner, in front of Spawn, now it's somehow this important event that took place that Male Bullshit is going to be like, oh yeah, well, if I can give him all the power and let him do everything, right? It just, none of it makes any sense. None of it does. There's no logical build-up to what he is doing where everybody should be concerned about it. Spawn should have sat there and said, yeah, dude, yeah, totally kill yourself, and you're going to get all the powers that I have. Exactly, go do that, right? And then Chapel just kills himself, and then he's just in fucking hell. That's it, okay? Chapel is going to make a deal with Malbolgia. What is that deal? What is it? Al dies, he wants to see his wife again. So he begs this Malbolgia creature, please, please, I'll do anything for you if you give me my life back so I can see Wanda again, right? So Malbolgia is like, okay, I'm going to do it. But of course, Malbolgia is going to fuck with Spawn because that's the point, okay? That's the punishment. That's the hell of hell, okay? Why is Chapel going to come in front of Malbolgia and be like, hey, dude, I just fucking shot myself so you can give me all this power like you did with Spawn? Malbolgia should then look at Chapel and be like, hi, you fucking idiot. Now you're stuck here. You're not going anywhere, and I'm not giving you that power, dumbass. And here's your hell. He didn't do Spawn a favor. He shouldn't be doing Chapel a favor. None of that makes any sense. I'm sorry. That, that's not a thing that hit me back in the day when I read this. I kind of actually thought for a second that it was kind of a good idea. But then if you look at it for 2 fucking seconds, you realize every problem that came from it, okay? Of course, Liefeld's going to come in and think somehow he's going to do this better on his side and get Chapel to be this, like, all-powerful demon creature or whatever because he'll just get the powers for whatever reason, okay? That's how Liefeld would think, okay? That was his commentary on McFarlane's Spawn or whatever. McFarlane's Spawn, that has been around since 1992 and is still around to this day. McFarlane, who holds the record for having, the longest running independent comic book, okay? He's still, involved in the creation of Spawn, has more than one title coming out per month now with that, okay? This book has been redone and canceled and stopped, and some other writers, different artists, lost all the characters to other people and everything through bad business decisions and all this stuff. But yeah, sure, Liefeld should do something the way he does and thinks it's going to somehow be better than McFarlane, whatever it is. Okay. All right, I had to do that rant. I'm sorry. Anyway. So we just have Night Saber still fighting Warwolf. I don't know if they fucking Wasn't everybody else in the same room where they were fighting? Like, Task is fighting those robots with Maddock and everything and all this, and I don't know. I do that a lot. Bringing my hand up, I just hit the book and knock it all over the fucking place. Anyway, he's fighting, and we get another double page spread on the side of Shaft coming in on some of the Die Hard robots, and I guess firing some explosive arrows or something, right? Can I just say, I know, okay, we all know the story of what Youngblood is. Youngblood was what Rob Liefeld had originally wanted to do with the Teen Titans, okay? And that this was originally Speedy, right? So Speedy could end up being the leader of the Teen Titans in the same way that Robin was, is that, he was trained and he's, a strategic master, he's a good leader and all this. There has never been an instance in any Youngblood book that I've read, back in the day or now, whatever, where I can see any justification, that would make Shaft the leader of Youngblood. Okay, I've seen him talking or whatever, he pretends to be some kind of leader or whatever. He barely ever commands anything. He makes a snide remark about somebody being late. End of leadership. That's it. There's never a plan. No one ever listens to him. All members of Youngblood do what all members of Youngblood want to do. Nobody is out to listen to commands or follow any kind of plan or anything like that. Everyone's a wild card. What is his point? Why is he there? Shaft kind of looks cool, and it looks like it was a favorite of Liefeld because he was in every book when all the other ones kept getting shuffled in and out and everything. You always tend to see Shaft, but I gotta tell you, there's never been a time where any bow and arrow guy was of anything. You're fighting real superheroes, and he's just a guy who can shoot bows and arrows. He doesn't have super strength. He doesn't have anything, okay? He has a bow and he has arrows. I don't know. That's, I say the same thing for Hawkeye. That's what these people are. It just seems weird to me that he would be fighting things like this, or things like Warwolf or Maddock or Darkthorn or whoever with bows and arrows. Okay. I can't see it being anything. This is another page that I feel was a double page spread that was supposed to be turned on its side. If you look at that picture of Shaft right there, look at the detail, and tell me that was not an image that was shrunk down to fit on this, okay? So that was meant to be another double page spread, and a much better one, again, than what you got with just silence standing there. But apparently, Shaft shoots Maddock with a couple arrows, and that puts Maddock down. All right. Sorry, that's a legitimate laugh. That is the worst villain in comic book history. A couple of arrows put him down. End of story. They should have just sent Shaft in the beginning. Why were all these other people brought in when all you had to do was just shoot this guy with a couple of arrows? And he's like, fucking no, I'm down, I'm dead. Oh, God, why'd I even try? Then we have an interlude at the end of the book. Or no, it's an interlude. There's more in there. It feels like this should probably be in the middle. But we have this guy, God, is his name KO? He was one of the original members of Brigade or something. I don't know. He's coming through this portal here, fighting whatever the hell these guys are, the Fruity Ninjas, right? I don't know. Anyway, he's fighting them or whatever, and whatever this monster thing is that comes out, who loses his head like immediately, right? And then he runs into Cable Derivative number 6, and he's like, I've been fucking waiting for you forever. I knew you would come out of this exact place at this exact time, and I've been standing here looking badass with my guns out, just waiting for you to show up. So then that's the end of the interlude, okay? Then we have all the guys here who were like, oh man, thank God Shaft came in and shot that dude with an arrow and solved this whole thing. The whole thing's over immediately because Shaft did that. I'm sorry, that shit is hilarious. And then all of a sudden, Silence freaks out. She's like, "Oh my God, something happened!" And she's like, "I felt a great disturbance. Like Alderaan was just, like we lost a good friend or something here, right?" Where in any book can you please show me that Chapel had any kind of relationship, any kind, a hatred, a fucking friendship, whatever the fuck it was, okay, with any member of Youngblood to where they can say, "I feel like a friend has fallen"? Has there ever been a page where Chapel is on there with Silence? Does she know who the fuck Chapel is? How could she? Now, I get it. We've looked at other, Youngblood books before, and like I said, you can go over to Blood Force Mitch and watch his reviews of all the Youngblood books and everything, and you'll see that half the characters don't even show up in the book, but they're implied to be there. You just never see them because of laziness or whatever. So maybe Chapel was there the whole time. Maybe she was there the whole time, and we didn't fucking know it, right? Maybe she was in the first 4 issues of Youngblood, and we just, he just never drew her. You know what I mean? But, like, I don't know. That whole thing just, it blows my fucking mind because he is like the worst of Youngblood. Like, Youngblood is supposed to be this team of heroes, these celebrities, right? That the media is all like, where's his celebrity? I've never seen that. I've never seen him in the limelight. I've never seen people try to interview him. I've never seen him on the late night talk show. I've never seen the action figures of him anywhere, or his cartoon, or whatever the deal is, right? This isn't somebody that kids would be looking up to. This is the guy who fucks women and then tells them there's no promises that they can get 5 more minutes of sleep, okay? This is... That's it. This is the guy who kills his best friends on orders from his commanders, okay? That's who this is. The role model. Youngblood, okay? This totally looks like a Stephen Platt thing. Liefeld drew it because we could tell from some anatomy here, right? But what is this? Like, all of this, even the chest here, there's no shoulders. Shouldn't shoulders be up here? This is all just the most disgusting thing. Maybe his body changed when apparently he got all the powers in the world immediately from Malbolgia. But this is, Stephen Platt's flameage and everything that he would do. But this whole thing is just ridiculous. And here we go with Robservations. I don't know if you guys know that Rob Liefeld has a podcast named Robservations, and I've actually listened to that podcast, and I was going to do some video commentaries on that podcast because it's fucking insane. You wouldn't believe some of the shit you would hear on there. I don't actually recommend you go listen to it because that would somehow provide him with some kind of money. And I'm not trying to advertise for him, but god damn it, it's fucking crazy. But anyway, that was Youngblood number 10. The death of Chapel, if you want to look at it that way, right? If you guys like the video, go ahead and hit like. If you want to see more videos like it, hit subscribe. Till next time, see ya.